Hello.
Hey there, Isla. How are you today?
I am bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I'm hoping to say that at some point within this time frame. First of all, thank you for your patience, everyone. We were having some crazy tech issues, and we spoke to the tech gods, and hopefully things will settle down here today. We'll see. It could be a surprising show.
I mean, anytime that you are engaging in talking about Mother Earth, you have to expect her to express her whimsy.
She's got a sense of humor, that's for
She's got
sure.
a sense of humor. And Alicia is actually up in the mountains right now as part of our ongoing celebration of the Mother Earth in this month. So I actually got to see her yesterday. I'll see her again today, which is exciting.
We are having such a blast. We're at the NOCO, the Northern Colorado Hemp Expo in Estes Park. It's an annual event. This year is the 10th year that they've been doing this. And it's a real treat for me because I have an opportunity to spend time with people who just fill my heart. You know, I love the folks in the hemp industry. And
Yeah.
and I've been able to spend time with people, the friends that I haven't seen in quite some time, and play catch up. And it's about gaining a lot of knowledge about what's going on in this industry. So it's a roller coaster ride of an industry, and a lot of people have not survived it. But those of us who have, life is good.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is actually a unique community and experience that both the hemp community in general, at least the places that I've intersected with it, and then also the NOCO. Some of it is there is a lot of diversity of ideology, and yet people are really all committed to the same goals of they care about the climate, they care about helping each other and sharing knowledge. Like you said, there's a lot of uplifting support. And I mean, most of us by the time we hit a certain age have gone to a few conferences in our life, and this one is a unique experience. I'm really grateful to have discovered it and been introduced to it by you. So
I say this over and over again. With all of the conferences I've done over the years, there's something about this one. There's something about the folks in the hemp industry that there's this open-hearted embrace. Everybody works, even those who are in quote unquote competition for the same shelf life or whatever it is. There's some kind of connection where people come together and they support each other. It's not just about, oh, well, I want my product on that shelf as opposed to yours. That's not what it's about at all. They work together and they help each other in every way possible. So I find it an industry of service.
Mm-hmm. And that is an interesting segue to something really neat that happened last night at the We Are for Better Alternatives Awards ceremony, when someone was given the DAS Award, which is an honor for being in service, a lifetime of service and support in the community. And that person would be Alicia Fall.
I was shocked yesterday because, as you know, Morris Beagle, who NOCO is his baby, and so Morris was up on stage and he was talking about Das, this amazing gentleman who's dedicated his entire life to service, and I'm thinking, Das, and as he's going on and on and on and talking about the award that they've created, then my name was announced, which it took me a moment. The dimmer switch was slowly moving in that direction to realize, oh, this award is going to me. And I was really quite humbled and touched by what both gentlemen, Morris Beagle and Ed Larberger, had to say about me.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, rarely am I at a loss for words, and I was last night. So
No, that's true. She said two very meaningful, heartfelt things and then jumped off the stage. And it was lovely. It was really lovely to see people celebrating the work that you've done, the impact that you've had. And um, Morris was on the show, I think 2 months ago. So anyone who wants to check that out, Morris Beagle is uniquely, I think he's uniquely part of why NOCO is so embracing because he comes at things from such a deep-hearted place.
mm, yes, he does.
And
He
he
does.
spent the award ceremony quizzing us on guitar riffs, which I thought was delightful. It's just like,
Morris is he's a diehard rock and roller. Yeah. Yes, so every little segment, he had his brother was up there playing, and he's a very fine guitarist, and Dave Bugle, and yeah, so every little segment in between the awards, he was doing a little riff, and Morris was testing us on our rock and roll knowledge. I would say collectively, hundreds of people there, and we failed epically.
and we completely failed. We failed Morris. We failed our guitar. I did add the things that he sent. I was like pulling up my little music file. I'm like, make sure I got to do better. I have a mission now. And tomorrow, so NOCO is today and tomorrow. So if you're in the Colorado area and you want to come and check out a really great expo, we'll have our booth there with our products. Alicia will be speaking at the Innovate Earth Symposium. And tomorrow morning, again, a little bit early, we're doing our Get Outside. Oh, there's a picture of Das and Alicia from last night. Thank you, Mikey. Um, we'll do our get outside hike, or it's not a hike, I'm sorry, stroll through
Stroll.
Estes Park,
Yes.
because we want to really elevate. Do you want to talk a little bit about our Honor the Earth, Honor Your Mother and Get Outside gathering tomorrow that our lovely
Yeah.
Victoria is leading?
Yeah, I mean, April 22nd is Mother Earth Day, right? It's Earth Day. And so in honor of that, for the month of April, we've been doing this campaign. Thank you to our marketing person, Victoria Carrington Chavez. We're doing a Get Outside campaign. And so we've been encouraging people to get out there, take photos, send us a little snapshot, hashtag us, do all of those kind of things. Let us know where you are, what you are doing out there. And it's a perfect way of getting grounded and really connect with Mother. And we're also doing it as a fundraiser. So if you are so inclined, please contribute to Her Many Voices. And this month, that contribution will help with the work that we're doing with Spirit of the Sun, which is an Indigenous organization in Denver, Colorado. And they are working with youth, and they are focused on land back right now. So we're doing some collaborative work with them. And tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in NOCO, up in Estes Park, we're going to be doing a stroll, more so than a hike. Yes, for those of us who are sucking wind at this altitude, visiting, or think, oh, I am not in that kind of shape, it's not that kind of gathering. So we're just going out there to really enjoy nature and each other and connect and share the stories of how we do connect with Mother and what we do for her and with her, and how it elevates our communities. So that's at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then at 8, actually, we're going to do a little social gathering. We have we have a couple of new products. It's CBD creamer and CBD hot chocolate. And so we're going to do a little social gathering before the walk, and come taste the tasty treats.
Yeah, come have a sample. And so we've done the Indigenous Wisdom for Modern Times event, and we're going to have a very small, short stream on April 22nd. And this year, in addition to our Get Outside initiative, we are focused on our event being in partnership with 7 Billion Presidents as part of the Honor the Earth Festival in Amsterdam. And so that's what today's special episode is about. We're going to have David here to talk with you all and Alicia about the Honor the Earth Festival and the things that we are hoping you will discover and learn, and just to get the word out. Even if you're not in Amsterdam, we hope that you will take some joy and wisdom from this conversation and share out about this lovely experience.
I'm very much looking forward to doing this. David and I met a couple of years ago. I was invited to come speak for Amsterdam Climate Week by 7 billion presidents, and Attila Shuba also invited me too. Um, uh, I want to say Earth. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired this morning. I'm spacing out his organization's name. At any rate, Attila and David put this gathering together, and I was invited to come speak on one of the panels around climate issues, and I spoke on hemp and humanity. And we've kept our relationship growing over these past couple of years. And I felt like, well, her many voices and 7 billion presidents seem to be working in parallel worlds. And maybe we can do something together here and to recognize and honor Mother Earth. So for the weekend prior to Earth Day is on a Monday this year, Saturday and Sunday, we're having this gathering of a Honor the Earth festival. Is this a good time to segue and bring David?
Yeah.
David
So everybody, I'm going to hop off and David's going to come in, and I hope that you will follow us on social media, sign up for our email list so that you can stay in the loop on the dirt and enjoy the rest of the chat with Alicia and David.
David, how are you? I'll say this morning, it's what, close to evening, if not evening for you right now?
Yep, I'm in Amsterdam. Happy to be here. My brain feels a little bit like it's exploding as we got the event next week, and there's a whole bunch of stuff happening at the same time. But I'm also excited.
Good. All right. So introduce yourself a bit. Tell us about 7 billion presidents. Where your passion is. What motivated you to create this organization?
Good question. It kind of appeared out of nowhere, to be honest. I was always, as a kid, I remember thinking like, I just want to be part of a project where I can contribute to making the world a better place. And I never intended to start my own project ever, till at some point I had this, let's say, traveling YouTube kind of idea. Yeah, I won't get into the details, but I was thinking like, wouldn't it be great if the profit would go back into the community building this, let's say, new kind of YouTube? And that made me think like, maybe it would even be nicer if all the profit would be used to build a better life for everyone. And that led to the next question, like, hey, we're basically realizing as a society, we're generating billions of dollars profit for other people, for shareholders every day. Why don't we use that money to build a better life for you and for me, then compete with each other to make the lives of another group of people better? And that led eventually to founding 7 billion presidents. And yeah, I've been working full time for 5 years now. And I believe we can play a big role in changing the system and building an inclusive society and stabilizing the climate. Even though the news of the last couple of months continues to be more and more worrisome than it already was. But I still believe in the miracle that we can stabilize the climate, and at the same time, yeah, I'm realizing more and more the inequality that's always been in our global society in general.
So tell us a little bit more. I know that your background, you are Dutch, you were raised in Nepal, so you have a different point of view and you approach things in a slightly different way too. Can you tell me part of that upbringing, did that create that little seed within you that really wanted to focus on how do we build a better and inclusive society? And I know that there's to those of you who are viewing, there is a little bit of delay between our 8-hour difference and both of our locations. So please be patient with us today.
Yeah, sometimes the sound disappears for a couple of seconds, so I'll try and puzzle the words I can hear into what I think the question is. Yes, I grew up in Nepal. Two parents that worked for the leprosy mission in a hospital over there. Maybe because of them, I started to think like, okay, it's really nice to give back to society. Isn't it human nature to help your community? I think it is. I don't know. I think it's more because of growing up in Nepal, being surrounded by different people, different cultures. It just doesn't make sense to, yeah, why we have all this division and the nation state identity in general. And then I remember growing up being really aware of global events. I remember sitting behind watching the 8 o'clock news, Mandela being elected as president. Later on, I was really engaged with the second Iraq war, really wondering how is it possible that you can travel all around the world, have an amazing night with, I don't know, an Argentinian, a Nepalese person somewhere, and then the next day apparently our governments can decide like, hey, you guys should kill each other, and for what? So maybe that combined with me being the middle person and always trying to keep the peace in the family. I don't know. I think as a person always looking for, okay, I want to be useful but also be effective. So what actually is the biggest way I can contribute? And I like what some people say, like, you don't come up with the story finds you. I think I am it fits me well. You kind of need yeah, as I like to say, the idiots to go after the crazy ideas and to believe something totally different is possible. And yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot, and it's nice to see more and more people are joining in believing and understanding the story we are telling.
One of the things I greatly appreciated about you and where I could really identify is that for years, people, when I founded Her Many Voices, for years I heard from people, oh, Alicia, it was either too big or too, they wanted me to pick one particular area to focus on and really don't go off course from that. And, you're dreaming these big dreams kind of thing. Why not come more into reality? And what I recognize in listening to your story and knowing that you have a big vision that I truly believe can be accomplished overnight if we all just made that little switch inside. There is absolutely no reason in the world why we are dealing with the issues that we're dealing with, the poverty, the famine, the wars, all of this, except for a handful of people who are generating fear and control in this world. And so I honestly, truly believe in the whole vision that you have to make this better world, to have it be something that is not only just sustainable, but it allows us all to thrive and be the people that we are meant to be and live in the purpose of life that we are supposed to be here for. For Her Many Voices, our core value is whatever I do for another, I do for myself. And the vision that you have certainly speaks to that. Can you tell us about the idea of where the inclusive society comes in and how 7BP sees how these steps can happen to create, to build that inclusive society?
Sorry, the last 10 seconds kind of were difficult. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if you can tell us what are those steps that led you to, or what are those steps that 7BP does in order to help to create this inclusive society?
Yes. So basically, I think the root cause why we are exploiting people and destroying nature is because of the goal of the system has to is that it has to grow, and because it has to grow and the economy has to grow, we kind of got this race to the bottom, where everyone is joining the rat race, basically just to survive and yeah, compete with each other to extract. So what 7 billion presidents is doing is basically building a movement that gives back. We build companies or invite companies where 100% of the profit, after the people making the product have been paid a fair salary, goes back into society. This to buy land or buy buildings that then serve the local communities, and they are governed in a regenerative way. So now the idea is we talk to a tea company, say, hey, if you join, then our movement will do everything it can to consume your product, spread the word about your tea, and sell your product wherever possible. In return for this, you agree that the profit will go back into society. And of course, if the turnover grows, they can all get a better salary, as long as we continue to believe that it's a fair agreement. And let's say we reach 5,000 people. Then we can go to the next company and say, hey, if you join, we got 5,000 people that will do everything it can to support you. And well, this way we tell the story with 2 companies, then 3 companies, and then we got a community in, let's say, the Netherlands who knows about it. And it's already happening organically. People from other countries say, hey, I understand the vision you have. I want to contribute. Let me build a community in my own country. So let's say a community in Uganda builds a regenerative 7 billion presidents Airbnb. Then the next day they can send it to all the other communities around the world. If we have a beer company in Amsterdam, it could collaborate with the beer company in Antwerpen or Brussels in Belgium. And this way we basically just say, hey, let's just collaborate to build a better life for all of us. And we replace all the businesses and the places in society that are extractive and making life worse. And we replace them by regenerative businesses that give back to society.
Every time I think about extraction, when we look at the issues around Mother Earth and the climate, and we talk about extraction and how big corporation and big pharma and government and all of that, it is a negative word. And I feel like we need to wipe all of that out, and we get to extract the talent within ourselves that can create the society that you're speaking about. And I do know you mentioned, if we have a beer company, I know that you guys do have the Humankind beer. And you're also doing a campaign of a 77-cent club. Speak on that.
Yes, at some point I thought, okay, I've been to too many events where you kind of feel like, okay, we've all been talking and we all understand the urgency to do something about climate change, to do something about the injustice in the world. But what can we do? So I thought now, kind of, let's say, this idea came about that we can change society with the 7 billion presidents vision. I thought, let's just communicate by doing, as in that's the strongest way to tell a story. So we partnered up with a local beer company and said basically the plan we have, I just explained with growing the movement. So we told him like, hey, we'll do what we can to start selling your beer, tell the story, and then it's a win-win. You want to be part of a community, you want to do something good. So let's collaborate. So yeah, we came up with Beer for Humankind and started selling it in Amsterdam. It helps that he's a really good brewer, but it was nice to see that no matter what people's background was, when they heard about the story, they would support it, either because they have a world vision of we should take care of each other, or a more, let's say, economic right-wing idea, everyone has to take care of themselves and is responsible for themselves. But when they would say, hey, no matter what, I'm going to continue buying commercial beer, then after having the conversation with us, I could kind of tell him, like, well, if you continue to have, let's say, normal capitalistic shareholder beer, and there is also the option to drink beer for humankind, you're basically turning into some kind of socialist, in the sense that you would rather give your money away to another group of people than drink beer where the profit will be used to make a better life for yourself. So it's a win-win for anyone, no matter what your background is. And yeah, the 77 Cent Club is basically the step that we want to take over the next couple of months. It's a campaign to spread the word to a really big group of people by inviting influencers, celebrities with big followers, to give something away that people would love to have. So now, for instance, Carice van Houten, she's a Dutch actress. She has a role in Game of Thrones. We will ask her to give something away, and then everyone that would love, let's say, her jacket from Game of Thrones, who wants to have that jacket, can get it, or gets a chance to get it by being part of a raffle if they join the 77 Cent Club. So that means they pay 77 cents per month to be part of this movement that gives back. And then we ask Carice, hey, maybe ask another actress, someone, an artist, to follow up and give something away another group of people likes. Till, well, the dream scenario would be, I don't know, Billie Eilish giving away a couple of meets and greet, and that you have 1 million people be part of this club, which would mean you would have 770,000 euros you can use every month to build another project, buy land, start a company, and then we could really get the momentum going of people hearing about the concept and joining and building this new society in a kind of a fun way, because they also probably want to win one of the things the celebrities are giving away.
And I know that listening to you, some people might think, oh, well, this is a good, nice dream to have, kind of thing. But Carice is already working with 7 billion presidents, I would like to add. She's already made that commitment. And, so this is something that is actually happening. The movement has started. And as we all know in the nonprofit world, sometimes the wheels turn slowly, but when you are dedicated and passionate, they continue to move forward. And so I wanted to say thank you to Carice to saying yes to 7 billion presidents and helping your vision come into reality. I don't know. I do know that you guys have a video. I don't know if we have access to that video. And if so, do we get to cue it up at this point? I'm waiting to hear from somebody behind the stage here, behind the curtain. It's negative on a video. Okay, that's disappointing. I was hoping that we had that video that we could queue up. We've had all sorts of, for some bizarre reason, the powers that be in the tech world today, they have not been kind to us along the way. But it is a video that explains, it's an animation that explains that whole process of 7 billion presidents and how do you create this inclusive society. And then you also have another one to discuss, well, what is the 77 Cent Club kind of movement? What else can you tell us about where the vision is going? Where do you see yourself over the next couple of years? Can you hear me, David?
Yeah, good enough. I keep on telling the people that join on the team basically every 6 months, like, oh, the next 6 months are going to be very exciting because I think we will reach the next level. And yeah, as a friend of mine always says, the difference between theory and practice is a lot smaller in theory than it is in practice. But we are definitely moving forward. We're in a totally different place, partly thanks God, thanks to Carrie's support of Noam Chomsky, a whole bunch of other activists in this space. And now again, I think the next 6 months, we could really reach a point where this movement speeds up rapidly. I think we can reach, seen the momentum we're having now with more and more people joining every month to help build the society we want. I hope with Christmas we have launched the 77 Cent Club. We're now aiming for October, November, and we have invited a whole bunch of companies to join. So yes, of course we're dreaming big, and I think the state of the world asks us to dream big and for the society to change in a radical way. So let's say within the next year, I hope we have enough funding to pay 3-4 people full time, and yeah, then we can get this thing going. If technically you need maybe 100 software developers to build a new Airbnb or a ticket swap or a BlaBlaCar. So we don't need a whole lot of people. And that's kind of what excites me, that we transitioned to Wikipedia with no one really ever talking about it, but it all happened within like 10 years time. A small group of people built it. No one had to change their worldview. We all started using it. And well, the society is different now than it was before when we were still buying encyclopedias. So in the same way, in theory, we could change and transform the world in the same 10 years with all the knowledge and wisdom we have now. And in 2033, we could live in a society where on a daily basis, billions go back into our local communities, buy land, grow healthy food. Growing healthy food in a regenerative way is one of the best things to do against climate change, while at the same time giving people access to healthy food. Yes, will solve our mental and physical problems, as in I heard not too long ago someone say 75% of our mental and physical diseases come from the food we eat. So yes, in my view, we could take back control, have a more positive outlook on society, and yeah, reach a point where we actually made the impossible happen and stabilized the climate, and at the same time, all live in a way more just world.
Yeah, and I do know that obviously we've got a lot of people across this planet who are returning to intentional communities, agri-hoods, more of the traditional tribal ways, simply because if we do that and we're growing our own foods and we're tending to our own backyards and we're supporting each other, it has a huge impact globally if we all come together in those tight-knit kind of communities. We get to address the personal needs as well as mother's needs. I want to talk about. I know you've got. I know you've got a team of people. You've got a bunch of interns who are from all over the planet, and I want to talk to that in a moment. But I just heard that we do have your video up and running, so let's view that first, and then we'll talk about interns.
Have you ever stopped to think about where our
Do we
money
have
goes?
audio on it?
Every time we purchase, we often compromise on our values. With most products we buy, profit leaves our community and goes to investment companies. In turn, we give more wealth and power to this small group of people. We've changed this. We created 7 billion presidents and decided to take back control and work for ourselves. We do this by building companies and selling products where the profit goes back into our communities. In partnership with Sander from Brook Beer, we brewed the first 7 billion Presidents product, Beer for Mankind. We sold all of our beer, and with the profit, we installed 7 solar panels in Mindstadstown Community Garden in Amsterdam West. We realized that with the same vision in mind, we could build a happy, healthy, and peaceful society where everyone has a share. With every new 7BP product, the story and the community grows. Money from the solar panels is used to install more solar panels, and equal parts are used for local social projects, regeneration projects, and towards building 7BP companies in low-income countries. The more solar panels we have, the more money generated and the more self-sufficient our community becomes. Purchases create long-term well-being for all, with cleaner air, neighborhood energy independence, more jobs in clean energy, and a better work-life balance. In 7BP, anyone can start a company or sell a product. This empowers new people to join and build the new together. Consumers make informed choices and benefit from profits spent. All communities share knowledge and experience with each other, and this process of regenerating communities is repeated until we live in a global society running on renewable energy, in harmony with nature, and where there is well-being for all. As 7 billion Presidents, we build the new. To be we need you.
All right, thank you for queuing up that video. It was good to be able to see it. And obviously, with this kind of vision, it's not something you do solo, David. So let's talk about the interns that you have. You have the ability, you bring in people from all over the planet. How do you go about doing that? Where do they come from? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Ah,
Somehow something has happened that I'm not in the call anymore, apparently.
you seem frozen in time on our video right now. Can someone confirm in the background, is David still with us or did we lose him?
Ah, okay.
Okay. All right. So now we're back. Obviously, with the video that we just saw, it's large. It's a large vision. So this isn't something that you do solo. So let's talk about the interns. How does that happen? How do you get that kind of talent? What's the period of time that they work with you? What all happens in order to create that?
Yes, I'm super grateful for this program the EU has. It's called the Erasmus program, and any company can sign up, and then students that are studying in Europe can apply for these internship positions. So I think over the last 5 years, we had about 40 people join from all over, mostly from Europe, but sometimes from Africa or Asia, but then studying in Europe so they can apply for the program. Then they get a grant, between 400 and 700 euros per month, which is not enough, not even close to have a living wage in Amsterdam, but it's something. And
It's a nice stipend.
yes, it might make a bit of a difference. And I wish it was not the case, and it still feels a bit of being part of this exploitative, extractive society, because, why shouldn't anyone deserve a living wage at least? But for us as a, let's say, startup movement, it's been immensely important and helpful to have people do lots of different kinds of work, which I could never do alone, because I'm just me, and there are so many things a zillion people can do better, and I can't. So yes, we had a whole bunch of amazing people, still have, of course, from all over. And together we really, I believe, tell the story in a way stronger way than I could ever have made happen, even if I would have been funded, I don't know, with all the money in the world. Then still, I cannot stress enough how grateful I am that all these people choose to join. We select on people that are passionate on making a change, and yeah, then of course want to be part of 7 billion presidents and have skills that can contribute. But just people aligning on our values and having the passion to do something to make this transition happen is already more than useful.
I've been able to enjoy over these past couple of years a number of your interns, spending time with them. And I do have to say, you have got some wonderful talent that come to the table. They really do. I'm always amazed at what younger people can bring, and how impassioned they are, and how creative they can be in order to make something happen that they believe in. So what are the key, give me the top 3 key values of what you're looking for in an intern for those who might be interested in doing something like that? And then how do they go about the process of contacting 7 billion presidents to put in an application?
I think the number one value would be that you have a strong sense of the injustice happening in the world. It could be climate, it could be social justice, but you think or repair. Secondly, it's all about collaboration. So yeah, it's a cliche thing. You really need to be a team player. And yeah, the third thing we select upon is if, of course, the skills match the different roles people have. It could be community building, could be storytelling, content creation.
I've lost your audio.
If anyone is really passionate and they can express it in a way that we are convinced, then I think we would never say no to such a person that feels like, hey, this is a story I want to be part of.
And is there something in particular, or are there things right now that you're in need of? What kind of talent are you needing?
I would say community building, partnership building with companies, and storytelling. Half of what we do is telling a new story, and it's not easy because we're telling a story where we believe we need to change the system. Explaining that in an accessible way is quite a challenge. And then maybe getting into this world of grants, which I was always a bit afraid of, but we're starting to understand I don't know, the waters we're in more and more, and finding our way around. So those are the first things that come to mind.
And I can speak to her many voices, and the experience over the past 15 years of grant writing is a specific talent, that is for sure. Not everyone's got that has that ability to be very effective. And I know you're not looking for strictly just grants. So if there are those who are philanthropic out there listening to this, check out 7 Billion Presidents, because you certainly welcome the private donor as well. And corporations too. So those of you who are out there and they're listening and they're realizing, okay, we do need to change the system, and we do need to create a society that's based on inclusivity, and we are just not take from the planet and each other. If this resonates to you, please reach out to 7 Billion Presidents, because this is a worthy cause. This is something that we have to do. It's not a question of, oh, this is a nice little pipe dream. This is something that has to happen in order for us to be in a healthy society. So make those connections, pay attention, check out 7 Billion Presidents. And, whether you have €5 or you have 500,000 euros, if you're operating in dollars, think about, maybe I can support something that's a little different than the status quo, because we do all recognize this has to change. And I'm grateful, David, that you have taken this step. I know that for 5 years, it's still kind of new. And, but for many people, if you're plugging along in this kind of world, it can be exhausting after 2 or 3 years to feel like, why are people not waking up? Why can't we move forward? This isn't easy. This is a no-brainer. Let's take care of each other. And it can be exhausting. And we're witnessing the world is in a very dark space right now. So the fact that we have people like you who have that light, that continue to stand there in that grounded space, and you get to be a beacon for a lot of people. We need that. We need that light in this dark time.
I don't know how to respond to that. I'm super grateful to collaborate with you, get to know you over the last couple of years. It doesn't feel like a coincidence whatsoever. And yeah, I'm grateful for all the work that you've been doing. You're also an example of giving back and telling a story where we show that we can actually build a society where we take care of each other, and everyone's lives turn around for the better.
So we are going to be coming together this over this next week, the weekend of the 20th and 21st. We're having the Honor the Earth Festival, and 7 Billion Presidents and Her Many Voices. This is the first time that we're doing this. And Her Many Voices, we're bringing our team out. We're going to have Aisla, who's our strategist, will be joining us. And we have Victoria, who's our marketing person, and Melissa, who's our arts educational director, and Shanoa, who's on our youth board. They're all coming out, and they'll be doing these interactive workshops. And then you have a team of people who will be joining as well. And then we have folks from Regens Unite. Can you speak to who you're bringing in and who Jeremy is bringing in from Regens Unite? Can you hear me? Because I've lost your audio now. Okay. Can you hear me this time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's wild because you can't hear me and then suddenly I lose your audio as well. So I was asking, we've got Aisla and Melissa and Victoria and Shanoa from Her Many Voices team coming in, and we're going to be doing workshops. The focus for us is about Indigenous knowledge, Indigenous wisdom, and addressing issues around the BIPOC community and the LGBTQ plus community. So I know that you're bringing in participants, facilitators as well, and Jeremy is doing the same from Regens Unite. So can you speak to some of the folks that you're bringing in? What kind of topics are going to be addressed between both of the organizations?
We got a very diverse group of people giving different workshops. It could be about the combination or the interconnectedness between soil health and human health, personal health. It could be a capoeira workshop. It could be offers and needs market, a different way of organizing our our economy, a workshop on decolonization. So yeah, all different projects that basically fit in the vision, I believe, of Her Many Voices and 7 Billion Presidents, of concrete concrete projects that make the world a better place. It could be on protecting the Amazon by supporting the indigenous people there. Could be a bike tour through Amsterdam, how to regenerate the city and make it greener. Yeah, a whole bunch of different stuff and super nice people. Where I wish I could join all the workshops myself, but I'm already regretting a bit, or there's a better word for it. Yeah, I can only attend one at a time, which is a shame.
Yes, we cannot morph and split ourselves and show up in a couple of different places. At least we haven't figured that out just yet. Maybe we can. There's the other 90% of the brain that we don't really access very much. So maybe we have that ability. We can transplant ourselves in different places at the same time and just absorb the knowledge and the wisdom that's coming through from these facilitators. We're located, this event is going to be at Tolhuisen. Can you share a little bit about the location? And maybe you know a little bit about their history, right?
Yes, the location used to be the head office of Shell till they moved to a different location. And now it's kind of become this community hub for activist gatherings and events. And I'm not sure how long they've been in the building, but they've got a big community of people that are connected to it because they're taking they're kind of the node in the network, hosting events, social activism or climate activism, what I just mentioned. So that was one of the reasons why we asked them, hey, it would be great if we can also have our event in the Tolhuistuin.
We're coming to the last couple of minutes. I know we got a little bit of a late start here. Is there anything else that you wanted to share around the organization or your vision?
It's going to be a beautiful weekend. If you know anyone located in the Netherlands or maybe even Belgium or Germany, please let them know. And I believe it's going to be the start of a beautiful growing movement that will actually take some steps in taking the actions we need to make this world a bit more beautiful. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, David. And tell us before you go, what's the best way to check out 7 Billion Presidents? What are your hashtags? How do people donate? All of that.
The website is 7billionpresidents.org with the number 7. It's also our Instagram handle, and you can find us on LinkedIn. And there is all the information one needs to connect.
And for both of our organizations, if you get online, you'll see information about the Honor the Earth Festival, which again is this coming weekend. It's the 20th and the 21st. Please join us. And on the 22nd, we're going to, Her Many Voices is going to have some podcast as well on what we've been experienced over that weekend. I'm going to blame all of the issues, the tech issues we've had today on the delay of the solar eclipse. I'm just going to say that must be it, because boy, it's been challenging over the last few days since the eclipse. David, thank you very much for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple of days.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you all.